Carolyn Doobie here. What's the play for today? Well, today I'm going to be getting very, very precise. And if you've seen many of my videos, you know that does not happen very often. So I had to do something to make it really, really easy for me to be precise. And I'm also going to let loose. But when I'm letting loose, I'm going to have to show some restraint, which again is one of those things that's a little challenging for me at times. So what am I going to be playing with? Well, I'm going to be playing with the July 2026 Stencil Club stencils that I designed for over at Stencil Girl Products. Now, it's hard to see them in a stack like this, so let me spread them out for you. These four are great all on their own, but you know me, I like to have choices, I like to have options, I love the flexibility of being able to get lots of looks from one thing. So these were designed to be stackable. So you can mix and match them, combine them in different ways to get a wide variety of looks. Everything that you're seeing here, these were made with these same stencils. One of the things that was really important to me when I designed these stencils is that they were easy to line up. Because anytime I wanted to be precise, I wanted it to be quick and easy because I'm incredibly impatient. And that's why there are two different kinds of registration marks on this so that you can really quickly know exactly where something's going to go if you want it to line up. And notice I said if, because guess what? You don't have to line things up. But with these stencils, you absolutely have the option. Let me show you how they layer together here with a quick technique. I'm playing around here on some tissue paper, but you can use whatever surface you like, from cardstock to canvas, whatever you like to play on. And actually, before I start bringing in any of the color, I'm going to mark the registration marks on this. Just taking a pencil, and at one corner there is a little line, and at the other corner there's a half circle. I purposely made those two registration marks different so you can always tell which one is which where it goes. Because stencils can get flipped around, turned around so easily. Having two different registration marks means you can easily tell which side goes where. I'm using an ink pad to do this, but you absolutely can do this with acrylic paints as well. Now that brush that I'm applying it with, that's something that Kristen Williams got me turned on to, and it's a makeup brush that's now sort of been taken over by the craft world. It's basically a really wonderful soft bristled brush. Well, now it's time to bring in the next stencil, and lining it up, it's a breeze because all I'm doing is lining up the registration marks on the stencil to where I trace those with the pencil from the first layer. And that's it. That's all there is to it. I'm going to live a little on the edge here with these layers, and I'm simply going to hold the stencil in place with my hand. But if you don't like to live that kind of a risky life, if you want to tape it down with a repositionable tape or a tape such as a washi tape, you absolutely can do that to hold it in place as well. Now, if you're wondering if you could line them up just a little bit off to create kind of a wonky, off-center kind of vibe to it, you absolutely can. With these four stencils, you have got oodles and oodles of options and so many different variations and possibilities with them. Now this is what it looks like after two layers, where you've got some blue, you got some green going on. I could stop there, but I'm not going to today. I'm going to put a third layer on top of it, lining up those registration marks and then bringing in another color. I was a little curious as I was putting this video together when my very first Stencil Club set was, so I did a little bit of research, and it was all the way back in 2014. Now, one of the reasons why I'm still working with Stencil Girl, even after all these years, is because they're a family-run company that listens. They're constantly adapting, changing, growing. And that is true for Stencil Club as well. One of the cool things they've started doing recently is allowing members to swap out sets. So if there's one month where it's not quite your vibe, that's okay. You can go through any of the old previous sets of Stencil Clubs and swap it out. Now, how the details work and all the specifics about that, you'll need to check that all out over on their website at stencilgirlproducts.com. So here's what 3 layers of color looks like. But you've got more options than this, because what if you want to do 4 layers? Yep, that's what I did with the red. Or you can do 2. That's what I've got here with the blue and the purple. You've got even more options because when you change the order that you do the stencils in, not just how many, but what order, that can change how things look. And these 2 here, these were done with acrylic paint on a gel plate, and exactly how they're done step by step is one of those techniques waiting for you inside the exclusive Stencil Club video. What you've seen so far is a very structured, precise kind of look with these stencils. But let's take a look at the other side of life with these stencils, a much looser, freer way to play with them. Going in the complete opposite direction of the other technique, this one is about not lining anything up. As I'm putting these layers onto the gel plate and adding them onto this print, the intention was for absolutely nothing to line up. And how this exact print was made from start to finish is one of those things waiting for you inside that exclusive Stencil Club video, as well as how this cleanup paper came to be. And another technique waiting for you is how to use a gel plate to create this kind of a look using just one of the stencils. And speaking of using just one of the stencils, let's do that with some alcohol inks here on a gel plate. Now this is one of those very loose and free kind of techniques because you never know exactly what you're going to get, which to me is part of the fun of playing around with a gel plate. I'm using some Adirondack alcohol inks here. These are vintage, and I don't mean the color, I mean that I've just had them so long in the studio, ran across a box, so I've grabbed them here to play with. I'm putting a couple of different colors on here. This isn't about precision, it's just about kind of getting some stuff on there. So once I've got a generous amount of alcohol ink there, then I'm going to spread it around using a very, very fancy tool, the hotel key card. And this is where I have to show some restraint. Because I have so much fun moving that color around, I can overwork it, I can overmix it, and instead of having a bunch of various colors there, I can turn it all into one big color. So that's why I'm trying to really just do little bits here and there to get the colors to start to blend together, but not actually fully mixing them all together. And anywhere I feel like I've maybe moved a little too much color, that's the beauty of this. I can just come right back in there and add a little bit more anywhere that I want. But what happens if you've got a little too much ink somewhere? Well, that's where another one of those fancy tools can save you. Just take a paper towel and blot up any of the excess. This next step is one of the hardest things for me to do, and that is leave it alone and let it dry. So once I've got it where I think I want it, I'm going to set it aside until all of that alcohol has evaporated and it's bone dry. Now I'm going to pull that stencil away and get ready to take the print. But if I were to put paper on this right now, nothing would come up because everything that's on there is bone dry. I need to get something wet on there, and that's where a little acrylic paint is going to do the job. You want to spread that paint everywhere, and all you really need is a thin layer of white paint for this, and it's actually going to lift everything up off of that plate. Once you've got the wet paint brayered evenly around there, you're going to put the paper on top, press down, make sure you get good contact, and then let it dry completely. So it might take you anywhere 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that kind of thing. And once that paper is completely dry, but you do want to let it completely dry, you can lift it up and it will pull all of that alcohol ink right off of the plate. And if you find that it's not lifting everything up, your paint may not be completely dry, or you may need to use just a little more paint next time. I've got one more bit of play to share with you here in this video, and this is using some reverse stenciling. So the black that you see there, that was taking the reverse stenciling of one of the stencils, and then I'm just going to fill it in with watercolors. Now, part of the reason why I love to do watercolors for this is because it looks like I'm carefully coloring within the lines, but between you and me, nope, not very careful whatsoever. The black paint covers up anytime I go outside the lines, so it looks like I was careful when really I didn't have to be. I've been so excited to share the play with you here. I haven't given you a lot of the details about Stencil Club, so let me get you the finer details here. So Stencil Club is a monthly club over at stencilgirlproducts.com. And if you're in the continental United States, it is $25 a month, and that does include your shipping. Each month you will get either 2 9x12 stencils, which is what I did, or you might get a 9x12 and 2 6x6 stencils. It really just depends on what the artist designs for that month. You're also going to get an exclusive video designed by the artist for that month, and there's also a PDF that goes with it. So for me, I've got a really long one that explains to you exactly which stencil in which order if you want to get a certain look. That way, it's kind of like a big cheat sheet for you to easily play around with the techniques. And then on top of that, you get a 25% off coupon that you can use on the regular collection of stencils. And Stencil Club is a month-to-month club. And what I mean by that is there's no membership requirement. You don't have to sign up for any specific number of months. It doesn't have to be a year or 6 months. You can sign up for as long as you want to do it, which means you can cancel at any time. There's no contract, there's no obligation. And the only way to get your hands on the Stencil Club stencil designs is by being a member of Stencil Club. They are exclusive in there. And when you are a member, you have the ability to purchase past sets as well. Now, if you've got more questions about Stencil Club or you just want to see what some of the past designs have been, I will have a link down below for you. Well, thanks so much for joining me for today's play. If you've enjoyed this video, if you had some fun, I'd so appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. And of course, if you'd like to see more of what I'm up to, hit that subscribe button. That way you'll know as soon as I've got a new video out. Now, if you'd like to find out more about Stencil Club, you can find all the details over at stencilgrow products.com. Thanks so much for letting me be a part of your colorful journey.